Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois and welcome back to Stoneblock 2. In the last episode, we were working on... what were we doing? I gotta remember. We were doing the machine rooms. We were finishing up making all the machines. At least we did that recently. So we made a bunch of that stuff. I think that was the last episode. It's been a little bit since I've recorded this. I don't remember. I never remember. I struggle with that sometimes. But good news. We have a new cow. The evil infused cow, which we're going to pick up and put right back down so that we can get the quest completed and claim that reward, which is a conversion kit, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so we have the evil infused cow now. I also need to go mark it off on my clipboard. And then the fun begins. Did I get the other one? Yeah, we got the stellar. So the only thing left to get is the infinity cow. And it's a 1% chance. That is awful. So we're going to try. And if I get it first try, I'm going to be completely amazed. And we didn't. Of course we didn't. So that is something that's going to take some time to get done. But it is getting close to the time where I need to buckle down and actually build. The hard part with building is finding the time to actually do it. And we're not going to actually be building today. But I need to make a couple of things so that we can build what I want in here. I have plans for this area. It's just a matter of getting them taken care of. So what we're going to need, and the first thing we're going to do, so for the record, what we're going to do today is not hit that button. I hit O instead of I. I have my inventory on I. I know that is weird. A lot of people use the default E. I've never used E to make to use the inventory in Minecraft. I don't know why. I can't use E. So yeah, I accidentally hit O. Anyways, we're going to be making concrete. We're gonna need a lot of concrete, and so the first thing we're gonna do is make a concrete machine, as well as we're going to get some dye seeds so that we can get all the different dyes. And then the rest of the episode, we're going to turn back to Thaumcraft and work on that a little bit more. So, luckily, the concrete machine is going to be really easy. We just need an auto breaker and an auto placer. Something to place the concrete powder and something to break the concrete. Now, there is a catch. We are going to do this manually in the world rather than there are options. If I look at lime concrete, we could use a hydrator, we could use a fluid transposer, we could use barrels, we could use fluid tanks. However, all of these are kind of limited. We can only do one at a time, whereas if we have, and I have someplace set up down here, something like, actually, I didn't even need to do that. If we have a thing of water here, we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 all around it, turning into concrete at once. So that's what we're going to do. Plus, I think the hydrator, let's see if we have one. We do not. You never know. The hydrator is not terribly hard to make. Fill this with water so it can fuse blocks. Okay, we're gonna actually look at the hydrator for just a second. So can we get some clay? Can we get some buckets? And that was quick. The last thing we're going to need is a dropper, which is easy enough. So I just need water, which is always always just troublesome. I know we have a sink down yonder. Can we make another sink real quick? I don't think I have one up here, and a sink would be really nice to have. So we need 5 more clay. Turned into terracotta. aka hardened clay, the way I used to know it called. And we can grab the bucket. I said grab the bucket, not put it into the system. And let's see what this hydrator is like. Does it require power? It does. That's why I don't want to use it. So that is the reasoning for that one. And we'll just grab, I'm going to keep the sink in here because it's super useful. And since I always kind of look back this direction, we're going to put the sink there and hopefully I won't forget about it. So yeah, that's the main reason I don't want to use something like the hydrator. The other things that we could have used, like I said, was, fluid transposer that also uses power. The barrels, which don't really want to use that, or the fluid tanks. So instead we're going to try these auto breakers and auto placers. Now we're just going to need a bunch of coils. Let's just start with one of each and see if, I don't believe these require, so we're going to take a thing of coal and we're going to take a thing of lapis. I don't think these require power, but we're going to find out. But we do need to laser things first. And there we go. And hopefully they can be smart and not have to worry about anything. So there is the auto breaker and the auto placer. Now if we put these guys down, they have the redstone mode and they do not require power, which is all I care about. We can, I believe, filter them. We'll see about that. But let's go ahead and make 3 more of each. And I had just enough. So we're going to make a total of 4 of each of these guys. And we're going to come down here. And we're going to place the breakers on the bottom. And so if we place something like cobblestone, it'll break the cobblestone. Now I don't know if we can actually put filters on these or not, so we'll have to see. But luckily it is, well, instant, making the concrete. So you know what, can we do something clever? Can we get a slab? Can we put, I don't know if we're in the version of Minecraft that allows us to do this. No. Yeah, we're gonna, how do I want to do this? Let's see. Actually, if we have that there, and we do something. Okay, let's fill this up with other things so it can't actually break that. Okay, so how can we do this without causing issues of water and making everything dark in here? There's got to be a good way. Let's pick these guys up for a second. And I didn't mean to hit that, but let's just do something like that. And it's gonna immediately spread back out. But that's not gonna work. We could just put the source block, actually, instead of there, we could do something like that and put stuff all around it. But that's still not going to work. Ugh, I hate working with water. So I guess we're just going to have to deal with the water. We could also put it down one so that it doesn't go anywhere else. And I think that will be the easiest thing to do. So let's do that. I'll have to get some stone and fix all this stuff, but we'll put these guys like so. And then in the middle, let's just go get some stone real quick. We'll put the water. And hopefully we can get everything to work like I want it. Now we are going to have to get cables to these guys so that we can extract their items. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So extract, always active, always active. And we're going to bring this up to an interface, which is going to be somewhere. Let's go ahead and fill that back in. But then we have the water here. Put that there. And the concrete will go there by being placed by the placers that are going to be right here. So let's pick up our water real quick. And we should be able to rotate these. So let's see, can we rotate them easily? Let's try the crescent hammer. There we go. So we want it like that, I do believe. You know what? Let's just do this. And we've got to get it rotated. I think that should be correct. There we go. And then the last one will go here. Perfect. Okay. So fairly compact. And this will do four of the things at a time. And we can just put the thing here, insert everything on green, and one last one, and then we just bring this up, disable those two connections, and same thing over here. And then we're just going to put the interface right here and connect these guys however we can. This is going to be insert on green. This one will be insert on green, and this one will be the extract. Actually, we're going to put a chest there. And this is going to be a little bit of a problem, but hopefully not too big of one. And there is some things we can do if we can't access the chest, but we're going to put the chest here. We can't access the chest, so we need to make it a large chest, which, like that one. So we need to make slightly larger chest with some sticks. Nothing too difficult. This will just let us open it when there's a block above it. And we put that there. Let's break this guy for a second. And I, of course, can't access what I need to. So let's just break all of these. And we're going to get our Yeta wrench. Left click up. Will be extract round robin, always active. So anything that goes into that chest will get extracted round robin everywhere. So we just need to put stone here. This guy here, extract always active. And we do need to remember to put our water. So water goes in the middle block, and we just bring this back up. Remove those, and this should work just fine. So, only thing left to do is put cable on it, and it will connect to the blue, no problem. But presumably, this will make concrete. So, one of the colors of concrete that we're going to need is blue. Blue should be easy enough to make. So we're going to teach the system how to make two things. One, to make the blue concrete, we're going to need blue concrete powder. Blue concrete powder is pretty straightforward and easy to make. We're going to allow ore substitutions. And then, can we get some of that? And then we can make a processing pattern for, can we do that? Blue concrete makes blue concrete powder. Perfect. So, theoretically, we can put this into the molecular assembler. No, wrong one. That does not get there. The powder... Okay, that one does go there. And then in this guy, we put the actual concrete. So presumably, we should be able to make blue concrete now. And let's go ahead and tell it to make all 8 of those. What we should see is they apparently all went to this guy just because it was probably just because there was the extract is more than just one, so that happens. But if we were to make, let's say, middle mouse click 100 of these, we should see all of them going. And that is incredibly fast. So, perfect. That is a very fast concrete maker. We just teach the system whatever colors we need. We're going to probably make light blue, maybe cyan, white, red. Don't know if any other colors, but we're going to make a bunch of concrete like that, and no problems. So, the other thing that I want to do, because if we want to make concrete, we're going to need to make all of the different dyes. We're going to make all the different dyes by using dye seeds. And so that's the next thing we're going to do. Dye seeds are not too terrible. They are Prudentium level 2 crafting seeds. So let's get that first. We just need to get the base crafting seeds, and then crafting seeds. And do we have the stuff to make the tier 2? We do not. So essence, we're going to need 8 of these. It'll craft those up real quick. We can make the tier 2 crafting seeds, which I think we have all the quests for the seeds up to tier 4. So no big deal there. We don't have to worry about that. But with the tier 2 crafting seeds, and then we are going to need dye clusters. So dye clusters is ink sacs, orange dye, magenta dyes, and cyan dyes. Now, if you are savvy at Minecraft, you might know that orange dye is yellow and red, cyan is green and blue, and magenta is white, red, and blue. So you need red and blue mostly, but you do need quite a bit of the dyes, and we have none of them. So ink sacs is probably the hardest thing for us to get. If we want ink sacs, we can get it for chickens. And in fact, we have, I think we have the ink black chickens. So let's see if we do. We at least have the eggs. I've been organizing things. gray, ink black. And they are 10, 10, 10. So let's take 16 of them, put them in the roost real quick, and this will take like next to no time, and we should have plenty of ink sacs. Perfect. So next we're going to need orange dye, which is just red dye and yellow dye, aka the normal flowers. So let's get the dyes on here. So orange, do we have any red, what are they called, poppies, dandelions? No, so we don't have any flowers. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult. We don't have any green dye, but we do have cactus. Can we make, I don't know if it's in this pack, sand? We can. Sand is really cool stuff. It's 2 sand to make 1 sand. And sand basically is an old glitch. Very old glitch that would make it a lot faster to grow things like cactus by using redstone. I know it sounds really weird. It used to work. But basically, can I time in a bottle this? Maybe. Seems to be working. But basically, Snan will let you grow cactus a lot faster. So we'll let that go for a little bit. We also need to get some flowers. Did I have flowers in here? So that is all of that stuff. Do I have any flowers in here? I have some orange dye. So we don't need that anymore. I mean, we do have a lot of different chickens. I mean, I have lime, but that is not what you need for cyan. You need green and blue. Blue is easy. And then magenta is also easy. It is pink and purple, or just red, blue, and pink, or just red, blue, 2 reds, 1 blue, and 1 white. And that is more than enough. We could also just grab it from chickens. Yeah, let's just grab it from chickens. Do we have cyan? No. Don't see any cyan. But we do have... We have purple, but that doesn't help us. Alright. Magenta chickens, you did well. And just to make sure we don't have... Okay. So we can grab some of this stuff. I think we only need 2, but I'm going to go ahead and let that grow. And let's go get cyan dye. And we should be able to make the dye clusters. All 4 of them. And then we should be able to make the dye seeds. Perfect. So now I can grow dye seeds, and with that we can make all the different dyes, and we don't even have to worry about things. So, do I have another garden cloche? No. Trying to think, how did I even get the garden cloches before? I think I got them from, I must have got them from rewards, and I don't have any more. We're going to put that in there for right now. I guess we should probably mark it off. Dye seeds. Have I marked anything off? Skystone, and I do have the nether. If that decides to show up. There it is. Underneath the dye. So, not marking off the Infernium because we need to upgrade those to the max tier, which is really, really powerful. But all things considered, we can use the dye seeds. I can find a place to plant them and grow them. Or I could just steal this guy for a bit and use that. So, we have access to all the dyes. Not too bad. So, that is going to be the combination of things. for making the materials we'll need to build. For the rest of today, I want to do some more Thaumcraft. So I have been doing the research a little bit off camera, and we can just do one real quick. Let's create a theory, experimentation, so we get 15%, 15 to 20% in a random thing. We could reject the fundamentals, or we could split it. Let's reject the fundamentals. We can ponder. And you see we're getting 43%. We can rethink. But we get another draw. And we could just do some experimentation and then complete the theory. So we have a little bit of various things. Well, that stuff is actually adding up. If we look in here, our knowledge totals, we have a lot of fundamentals, and almost enough arcane and fusion and whatnot. So basically how it works is you're never going to really, especially early game, you're never going to get this to give you 100% in something. But even if you did, it doesn't really matter too much, because the whole point is to get these knowledge totals, because this is used in your first steps. So for example, in order for this first step to progress, we need to have at least one level in fundamentals, which we do, and then we also need to make a thermometer. And I think we need the arcane workbench for that. And I don't remember quite how this works, so we're gonna have to read a little bit. So we're gonna need V crystals, and then we can use a thermometer. Now thermometers are really powerful, and we can go ahead and make that. So we're gonna need a little bit of all the crystals. So let's grab a little bit, let's just grab a stack of all of them. There should be 6. I grabbed 2 of the flux crystals. I actually don't think we need the flux crystals. And then we're going to need a little bit of gold and glass panes. So most of this is not too difficult. And if we put this in here, it's not going to do anything. We need something else. We need the crystals. So we're going to have to place these guys down and break them. And what I'll probably end up doing is exactly that for quite a while, and get a full stack of all of them. We are getting plenty from sifting, so it's not too bad, but that is enough so that we can make the thermometer. And the thermometer is really cool. We can use it in the world. There is a bar that shows in the left top hand corner. I wasn't sure what the glows are. I know what the glows are now, but there is a bar in the left top hand corner. I believe that is showing us, so we have that, and I guess we need observation fundamentals. So Thaumcraft, okay, so we should be able to do more stuff, but we need to scan things. Basically, I believe this shows the level of V in the area, or flux, something like that, but we can scan things. So if we just right click or shift right click, it's pretty quick. We've learned things that are new, and we have gotten research. So observations versus theory. That is the difference. So we can complete that, and then there's aspects of Essentia. It gets more complicated. Things are made up of different things, and basically we can break things down. Essentia is an important thing, and it is basically alchemy. So we can break, let's say, stone. Stone is made of So cobblestone is made of, that is terra and perdicio, aka earth and entropy. If we were to break down something else that had a lot of that, we could theoretically convert it into stone. Now, it's not quite that easy. We can learn more things. We can scan everything. And inventory too large. Scanning only the first 100 items. So it scanned a lot of the stuff. We can scan more stuff, get more research, and yeah, basically we just scan everything we possibly can, and we'll get a lot of knowledge, and then we don't have to worry as much about the little mini game, because if we look at our knowledge totals, it is crazy. So there is a lot of things we can do. Brewing simple potions has its uses, but we need more stuff, and we're going to need to make a crucible. That is the next thing. So let's look at the crucible. The crucible from Thaumcraft is kind of the main thing for alchemy, and it doesn't actually tell us how to make that. Applying some Salus Mundus to a cauldron should solve the problems. So luckily I do have some Salus Mundus. Let's go ahead and scan that. And we learn new things. Scan everything you possibly can. Anything that has the essentia, like the essentia values, the various symbols, will have something to scan. But not everything you can scan. So only certain things. Everything that's vanilla and everything that's Thaumcraft should be able to scan. But certain things with other mods, not necessarily. We can scan a door, you know. There's a lot of things you can scan. It gets crazy. And more complicated items scan better, basically. You get a lot more information from more complex things. Anyways, let's get a cauldron. Let's clear our inventory a little bit. So a cauldron is just iron. Nothing too difficult with that. We'll scan it before we do anything else. So we'll put it down and hit it with Salus Mundus, and it converts, and we can scan it. Then we can pick it up. Cool. So that should be that completed. And then we can use a crucible, but it requires some sort of heat source and filled with water. The water will boil, and then we can throw things into it to get niter. So in order to make niter, which is important stuff, you throw glowstone into a crucible that is full of potentia, lux, and ignis. And so it's a little bit of a mini game, again, to make various recipes. And there is a whole chapter on alchemy. There's a lot you can do with alchemy. There is ore, transformations. You can turn one thing into another. And for our actual quest book, we do need to make something. So we need to make the yellow niter. And then we're going to need to make later liquid death, filling essentia transfuser, and a auxiliary venting port. So this is all just sort of interesting things. There's also goggles of revealing, which are kind of like upgrades to the thermometer. We'll get to those later. That is the wrong book. Did I scan I did not scan the Thaumonomicon. It is important to scan everything you can. But then we can get into other things, aromancy. We need to visit very high places and very low places. Interesting. I don't know how that one's going to work. Infusion, we have observations. We have scanned things that have Arum and Precantatio, which is magic. And then there is other things with infusion. So we still need a lot of other things. We can complete this. not terribly useful for us. This basically is a thing where we can look at the night sky, which is the problem we have, and document the moon phases, and that gives us research boosts in here. So we can create a theory, we can do interesting things, and we can get some artifacts. We actually just lost our we used our thermometer to gain artifice. We can calibrate, get a bonus draw. We can study the reaction between two things. There are other V crystals based off of all of the different V types. So if we actually look up V, you can see there is a lot of... Let's just look up Thaumcraft. I'm trying to explain this as best I can quickly without going into too much depth, because we don't really need to, but there is all of these different properties that items can have, and all of these can be made into crystals. Let's go ahead and ponder. And attempt to concentrate some. Gain 15. I want to continue getting artifice. So these will use those, but we can't really do much with that yet. And it didn't work. So I lost my thermometer, but that's easy enough to make. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and make some niter. So in order to make niter, we're going to need a fire source. So let's just get some netherrack and some flint and steel and make actual fire. Let's do it just right over here. Out of the way. Put that down. Fire. And then the crucible. And then we fill this up with water. And here in a little bit, it takes it a second, but you'll start seeing it bubble. And that is, there we go. There are the bubbles. So it is boiling. We can add stuff to it, and then we can throw in glowstone to get niter. Now, what can we add to it? Well, we're going to need, in order to get niter, yellow niter specifically, we need potentia, ignis, and lux. Now we can look up what all these are, but that's not terribly useful. Potentia is basically anything that has energy, power. That's what it is. And so things like aluminum and nickel might actually be really good. So let's see ingots, if I can spell ingots. Silver, we need to make another, one moment please. We need to make another thing. So we need earth, water, and air. And then we're going to need some gold. Let's do that one more time. And I believe we can we not put multiples? Okay, we cannot put multiples in the same spot. But that's okay. Let's grab the gold. 2, 3, 4. And the glass pane. And make this guy. And apparently when we scanned one, we scanned them all. Okay, that works for me. So, can we just scan them in the inventory? No. So let's grab some silver. Not what I want to see. I want something that has, as close as possible, just potentia, which this does. And we want to make sure that as close as possible, we get exactly what we need and no more. Now, I'm being silly because I remember how to make this. Coal. Coal is the key. So coal is 10 potentia and 10 fire. And then torches. Oh, torches are not. We need something that is only lux, aka light. As little of anything else as possible. And close to 10. There's probably something that is exactly 10 that we could use. But a lot of this stuff is not so good. But basically, we want to try to be as close as we can to exact as often as we can, because anything extra is kind of released into the air, and that can be bad later. It can cause problems, but I guess what we'll do is we'll just use 2 torches. That'll release a little bit of stuff, but not much. So what we do is we go over here, we throw coal and 2 torches in there. And then if we were to look at it through this guy, no, we can't see. We can throw the... Okay, I just used that as well. And I'm just going to dissipate all of that. And we need to make another thermometer. There's got to be a better way. I don't remember. I don't think there's anything special about this. Once I've... Small core, fire and light should burn. Okay, yep. I throw them in the crucible. Once I have enough, all I need to do is throw the catalyst. Shift right click with an empty hand to empty a crucible. Okay, so we need to do that again. We're gonna need glowstone again. I messed up somehow. So it is 10 of each. That is 10, that is 5. So 2 torches. That should work. I don't know why it didn't, but we'll try it a little bit quicker once it boils, and hopefully it'll work this time. And once we get the niter, then we will probably end things off there. That did not work. Okay, I'm just throwing in more light. Why is that not working? It would be nice to be able to see what is actually in there, and I think in order to do that, we need alchemical metallurgy, or we need to research that. I think we need to research that. So if I put... No. Okay. One last try. Making things awful here. So sometimes things won't work unless you've researched them. And there is a very good chance that that's exactly what's happening here. We need alchemical brass, which is instrumentum. That is not too hard to get. Shift clicking. Don't take too long. Nothing. Okay. I'll tell you guys what. I am going to figure this out. And I'll be back once I have some answers. Alright, so first of all, I want to show off that there is a lot of flux in this area. You can see that there is, in the top left corner again, that like bar, there is a lot of pink, and then there's a thing of purple, and the purple changes depending on where we're at. Over here, there's not as much purple. There's also not as much pink, but there's a lot less purple than over here, and that's because of all of the alchemy stuff, and they changed things on me. So the reason that it wasn't working, you can see I have some alchemical brass, which you can go ahead and scan, it was because they changed things on me. And I didn't know this. So, the key to all of this, wait for it to boil. That part doing just fine. It's boiling. Now, we can throw things in like we were before. So coal and 2 torches. And then you right click with the catalyst. And that makes the item. So there is still some other stuff in there. To make the alchemical brass, it requires 5 instrumentum. Flint is a great way to get that. And so we can throw that in there. And then we can turn stuff into alchemical brass. So yeah, you have to right click, and I didn't know that. So that is unfortunate. By the way, made the alchemical brass. We can complete that. And then it's going to want us to have a theory of alchemy, which we don't have. Theories you can also get just from this minigame. And I believe there is some cool stuff you can get from this. So let's do one more of these. Let's measure 15 infusion. That's good. If you have, I can't remember how this works. If you have some of the stuff, you get more stuff or something like that. Yeah, if we had 10 Arum, a file of Arum Essentia, which there is a way to get the various files of Essentia. And basically if we have, I don't remember how it works. Does it show me in this thing? Files of Essentia. No. Oh, right. We have to centrifuge. We have to do complicated things. Essentia smelting. So there is a lot of different things we have to do to get to that point. So I can just leave this here. Or I can make a minecart with TNT, and it would use this, and we'd be able to continue on with that route. Otherwise, I don't lose anything. I can just scrap. I lose a little bit of paper and some ink. But we can continue kind of trying to do stuff. 15 to 30. We have Artifice. Universal kind of splits everything. It's not very good. Anyways, that minigame is complicated. What I want to do instead is make use of this niter. One, it was a quest, so we can go ahead and complete that. We got a water candle, not particularly useful. But niter is really nice because, well, netherrack is fire, and it's just not fun. You can lose things in fire, it's just bad. We can place it down instead. And this also acts as a heat source for the Crucible. So we don't have to worry about having any fires or anything. We have these nice pretty lights that act as heat sources. And just to kind of prove that, we can grab some water, throw it in there, and you'll see that it will start boiling. Can we use it real quick? How bad is it to make the next thing, which is thaumium? Thaumium is magic and earth. What do these crystals have? Oh, they're just terra, so they're literally just earth, which is kind of nice. So we need magic earth, but it's boiling. Proves my point. We can empty it out. No cost for that. There's no V in it, no flux to create. And all in all, Thaumcraft is kind of complicated. And I've been trying to go quickly through it because a lot of this research stuff is not particularly interesting for having the observations and the theories. The actual crafting and whatnot is kind of cool, and you can do some really neat automation with it. But it's something that we kind of need a dedicated space for, which is going to be that direction. Actually going to be up that direction if my plans are going to work the way I want them to. And I need to look into this. Highest peak in the lowest depths of the world. We can only go so far down. I mean, I could dig straight down and hope that works, but let's see if going up to the mining dimension is enough to activate that. Because I actually don't know. I don't know how high up we need to be, and there's only so high that we can go. So let's just make our way up here real quick. Oh, cool. Never mind. That is as far as we needed to go. We have visited the highest peaks at like 180. So I guess I will have to dig straight down, and I might do that later. Grab a bunch of stone and just come down here and dig a hole straight down, or even better, probably come down here and do something in one of these corners. Might do that. So there's a lot of little things. I'm going to probably do a bit of Thaumcraft off camera in the future, but I'll try to do a lot of the crafting and stuff with you guys and explain as best as I can. This is a newer version of Thaumcraft that I'm not particularly used to, but it is something that I've played Thaumcraft quite a few times. This is the third version of Thaumcraft I've seen that is drastically different than the other two. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of same kind of ideas, and if you've watched any of my other series, you've probably seen me play with Thaumcraft before. It is a really fun mod. It's just at times can be a little tedious. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's episode. I am going to kind of plan out the farm area, and we need to start getting going on the farm and the chickens and all that kind of stuff. So that will be the plan. Probably next time. Otherwise, we might do more Thaumcraft. We might do something completely different. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!